We're live now. Hi, everyone. Pother team back at it again. Right now it is me, Najee Coach, and my friend here, Najee Mitchell, and we're doing some Mojo reading beat training, track 2. And so we had 12 beats due to catch up, and Mitchell, you were asking about the conversation we had. Yeah, they'll kind of just come up organically. I may touch on them when we get those questions.
So where are we beginning? Was it charading?
Correct.
Because I remember we did Unbeat and Broken. In fact, you did show up for the first one this week.
All right, so what is charading and how does it relate to natural and altered states?
Right. Charading refers to when a person describes things or acts them out, where the emphasis is on the connected ideas and related concepts rather than an exact explanation or enactment, which indicates interpretive power use. Interpretive mojos have natural state charading, and literal mojos have altered state charading.
So some of the conversation came from this area here. Actually, one is what the word charading means. You may already know that, but we would.
Yeah, because I've heard like in the game charades.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that here it's been used in a looser context to simply mean to communicate something through signals and patterns, not specific.
Yeah, because sometimes it can mean like faking something or like acting it out. But I mean that's essentially what they're doing. They actually are doing this, I guess, sort of broader form of charading, which is just like using patterns to get you to go, oh, that means that.
Exactly. So that, and then the other thing is that charading and concretizing are here as a dichotomy between interpretive and literal.
Yeah.
Another dichotomy comes up later on, which is, I think, characterizing and enumerating. And so it may help to tell, because we've got
I'm assuming there's
a little confusion on those. So maybe just let you know ahead of time about those two dichotomies. The first one is going to be these charading and concretizing, which will be a perception.
Interpretive.
Yeah, exact perception dichotomy. The other one's a discernment dichotomy.
All right, makes sense. Okay.
I think it may have been because the game charading. Sometimes I guess you're using jez, and so I think maybe that may have thrown things. But I mean charading in a broader context here, which is more pattern specific.
Yeah, and characterizing definitely sounds like values to me. Anyways. Okay, so charading is when a person describes things or acts them out in a way that emphasizes the connected ideas and related concepts rather than like an exact on-point explanation of what they're talking about and start doing or acting out. And so interpretive mojos have natural state charading and literal mojos have altered state charading.
And now the counterpoint, what is concretizing and how does it relate to natural and altered states?
Okay. Concretizing refers to when a person describes things or acts them out where the emphasis on the exact explanation or enactment rather than on connected ideas and related concepts, which indicates literal power use. Literal mojos having natural state. Is that correct?
Where's it?
I have interpretive mojos having natural state charading and literal mojos having altered state charading, and then also literal mojos having natural state concretizing, interpretive mojos having altered state.
Yes, we have, right?
Yeah.
Cool. See.
Yeah. Honestly, I know what you mean.
A lot of those are because I was doing the book, I think I was doing a lot of copy and paste to make my life easier.
Yeah, like that might have been part of another sentence, in which case having would actually make sense if it was like I had it with a comma somewhere, but if it's its own sentence. All right, anyways.
You're right.
Anyways, so concretizing refers to when a person describes things or acts them out, and the emphasis is instead on the exact explanation or enactment rather than connected ideas and related concepts. And this relates to literal power use, and so literals have natural state concretizing, and interpreters have altered state concretizing.
Boom. All right, next up, what is a motive range? What are its major demarcations?
Right. Emotive range refers to how far a person's emotive expression easily and readily radiates out and up from the mouth area into the rest of the face. The major demarcations that are used in Mojo reading are the lip line, midline, brim line, and brow line. The lip line is delineated as running along the edge.
That's the next question, actually. So you can just do that.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we were like doing. Okay, let's see. Lip line, midline, brim, and brow.
We'll do the breakdown of them. The next one be.
Yeah. So I assume like so lip is like that's like the logic lead, and then midline is okay. Right. I don't use the brim. I was thinking brim line was like the values lead for a second, but actually no. That goes over the brim. Okay. All right, so emotive range refers to how far a person's emotive expression readily and easily radiates from the mouth area up through the rest of the face. And so the major demarcations are lip line, midline, brim line, and brow line.
Cool. All right, next up, what is the lip line? What is the midline? What is the brim line? What is the brow line?
All right. Lip line is delineated as running along the edge of the upper lip, extending across the face. Midline is delineated as running along the base of the cheekbones, extending across the face. The brim line is delineated as running along the bottom lid of the eyes and extending across the face, and the brow line is delineated as running along the upper eyebrows, extending across the face. Cool. All right. So I should remember that. So the lip line is like I remember the language they use, but it's like it runs along the upper lip line and extends along the face. The midline extends across the cheekbones, across the face. The brim line extends from the lower eyelid, I guess. I think what's across the face, and
the upper part of the lower eyelid.
Upper part of the lower eyelid across the face. My bad. And the brow line goes from the upper part of the eyebrows across the face.
And also, there are two things in there. One is just a kind of a fine point, since we teach this a lot, is where exactly the midline is. There's a little bit of more of a vagueness in some of the way we're doing it. I want to make sure to get more specific. As you touch your face, you feel where the bottom there is readily.
On my cheekbones?
Yeah. Okay. It's actually a little lower than that, because that's actually the top of the bone mound. Go down.
Oh, but if you go down, there's like more cheekbone.
Yes.
It's like so deeper in the face.
Go down to where you actually when you press in.
Yeah.
See here? I'm actually right below cheekbone, and I'm actually on jawbone.
Yeah.
That's where it is. There and across the bridge of the nose, and they're about the same.
Like goes near the ridge. I remember that back because I was asking about that like a really long time ago, doing like PSAs and stuff. And I remember someone did like a demonstration, used like the nose area too, and so that's like
Sometimes I notice we do it. It looks to people like we're actually looking like we're painting on our cheeks, like we're mid cheek. It's actually base.
Yeah, I figured because that's I guess just closer to the lip line, and I would think that because those are both the logic based mojos, the lip line and the midline. I would think they would be pretty close together.
And then the other thing is a point that came up the other time when I forget one of them asked about the forehead and why wasn't the forehead included with, say, the brow line. And that brought up a good discussion. It's a fine, nuanced point. But basically, emoting as we focus on, but a lot of times, but there are other expressions that are not actually emoting. and they're like perception expressions. So you can like squint or furrow your eyebrow or do a whole bunch of like things like this that are more, I'd say, forehead related. Furrowing the forehead. So for example, and the mouth doesn't move at all.
Yeah, like when it gets excited with the objective perceptions, and then also when it kind of like scrunches with the subjective ones.
So this gets rather fun. The reason with the brow is that that's actually the range, like you know, that crinkling around the eyes that I see coming from the mouth. So the mouth like shoots and like it shoots up the emoting. And the eyebrows is usually where it crests. It kind of like that's the upperness of the wave. And what goes on the forehead seems to be a little related to something else. That was a little fine point.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. Yeah, I can see how the perceptions are important to it.
All right, next up, what is values-based emoting, and how does it relate to the midline of the face?
Cool. Values-based emoting refers to when values-based mojos use their values-based power, which is momentum for them. Therefore, their emotive range goes easily and readily above the midline of the face. All right. So values-based emoting is when values-based mojos use their values-based power, which is momentum for them. The emoting that they do, values-based emoting, is going to go easily and readily above the midline of the face.
Cool. And counterpoint, what is logic-based emoting, and how does it relate to the midline?
So this is just for credit, because obviously it's pretty obvious. The logic-based emoting is when a logic-based mojo uses their emotive power, which is modulation for them. And because it's modulation, it does not readily go above the midline of this.
Cool. Now the terms, what is localized emoting? What is high range emoting?
Localized emoting refers to the more pronounced form of logic-based emoting, where the emotive range does not go easily readily above the lip line. It indicates a person who has logic-based power as their source power. Well, it's interesting because I used to think we talk about localized even sometimes with the Zez tandems. Is that not true anymore?
I think it still is. I mean, technically,
of course, it's always localized. I guess technically, it's even localized for like the Zez to an extent. I mean,
it is because it's not full. Yeah, exactly. So in this case, the more formal use of a tensor, it's like a going deeper.
Very localized.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
But you're right. We have used in that way as well. And I don't think that's wrong either. And then the other one.
Yeah, right. High range emoting refers to the more pronounced form of values-based emoting, where the emotive range goes easily and readily up the entire face to the brow line, when it indicates a person who has values-based power as their source. Okay, so localized emoting refers to a more pronounced form of logic-based emoting, where the emoting, in addition to not going readily above the midline, also doesn't go readily above the lip line, and it indicates the person has logic-based power as their source power, and therefore value-based power as their polar. And the high-range emoting refers to a particular form of values-based emoting, where the emoting not only goes readily above the midline, but even goes readily above the brim line up to the brow line of the face. And this indicates that the person has values-based power as their source power.
Good. Next up. What is logic-based neutralizing? What is value-based neutralizing?
Logic-based neutralizing refers to when logic-based mojos use their logic-based power, which is momentum for them. Therefore, the cessation of emotive expression is immediate and the curtaining fully settled. Okay, rapidly process it. Therefore, the cessation. Okay. Values-based neutralizing refers to when values-based mojos use their logic-based power, which is modulation for them. Therefore, the cessation of emotive expression has a slight delay and the curtaining is never fully settled.
That wasn't for credit, right?
No, not for credit. All right. So logic-based neutralizing refers to when a logic-based mojo uses their logic-based power, and the logic power is momentum. So the cessation of the emotive expression is going to be more immediate and settled. And values-based neutralizing is when a values-based mojo uses their logic-based power, which is modulation for them. So the curtaining will cause the cessation of the emotive expression to have a slight delay, and also not be as settled.
Good. All right. What are audible cues? What can be heard in audible cues? And what are the automotive thresholds?
Okay. Audible cues refers to all cues that relate to power usage that are heard rather than seen. The subtle aesthetic quality of each of a person's four conscious powers can be heard in the voice, as can the nuanced degrees of the emotive range. The audible emotive thresholds refers to the audible versions of the lip line, midline, brim line, and brow line. Instead of the emotive expression spreading across the person's face, it is spread across their vocal range. The brow line of the voice. Interesting that we do have those such like a range of logic and values in music.
Yeah.
Like Ziny show up a lot now.
Yeah. Although it is heavily values based in general.
Well, that's true. I guess that's true. The Ziny are starting to show up more.
They are. They are. I really enjoy their work too.
I wonder like what's driven me to.
Yeah, there were a few in the purifications that were pretty big.
Man, like Taylor Swift, right? Is she Ziny, right? Taylor Swift.
What about her?
She's Ziny.
Yep. Like a supermodel pop star.
Okay, so audible cues are cues relating to power usage that can be heard rather than seen, basically from a person's voice. And what can be heard is the subtle aesthetic quality that each of their four conscious powers has, and also the nuances of their emotive range can be heard. And the audible emotive thresholds basically refers to like an audible version of the lip line, midline, brim line, and brow line in the voice. So basically, just like basically wherever their values would go to on their face based on what their powers are, that's what also goes to that corresponding line in their voice. Readily and easily. Anyway.
All right, next. Going on that, what is characterizing? What does it usually indicate? And how does it relate to natural and altered states?
Characterizing refers to whenever a person is acting out an impression of someone else or themselves from another situation, as well as when personifying activities or objects. This usually coincides with values-based power usage, with values-based mojas having natural state characterizing and logic-based mojas having altered state characterizing. Numerating refers to whenever a person is exploring. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, I'm so used to doing two now. Just have it. Yeah. Okay. So characterizing refers to acting on impression. or personifying. Okay, so characterizing what refers to when a person acts out like an impression of someone else or themselves from a different situation, or when they're personifying like an activity or object. And it indicates values-based power usage, and so therefore values-based mojos have natural state characterizing, and logic-based mojos have altered state characterizing.
Now, counterpoint, what is numerating? What does it indicate usually? And how does it relate to altered and natural states?
Numerating refers to whenever a person is explaining the numeric or logical sequence of an activity or methodology, as well as when breaking things down into systematic categories. This usually coincides with logic-based power usage, with logic-based mojos having natural state numerating, with values-based mojos having altered state numerating. Okay. Okay, so numerating refers to when someone is explaining the numeric or logical sequence of an activity or methodology, or breaking something down into systematic categories, and it indicates logic-based power usage, and so because of that, logic-based mojos have natural state numerating, and values-based mojos have altered state numerating.
All right, last one. This one was a meaty one, and also, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the concept basically of the two ranges on the face and how they overlap. But anyway, this is it here, so it's a good beat to understand. And this is getting into perception lead mojos versus discernment lead. That's where, yeah, exactly. All right, so what is perception range? How does it relate to perception power hierarchy? What is discernment range? How does it relate to discernment power hierarchy? And how do the perception discernment ranges relate to each other?
Okay, perception range is located mainly in the eyes. The perception power hierarchy is indicated by depth level in the eyes, with the momentum perception on top of and obscuring the modulation perception, which lies beneath and only peeks out or pierces through during active use. The discernment range is located along the entire expanse of the face. The discernment power hierarchy is indicated by how easily and readily emotive expression goes above the midline of the face, or by how easily it is cessated, with the momentum discernment setting the baseline cast of one's countenance, and the modulation discernment either flaring up or curtaining down only during active usage. And then the perception discernment range and discernment range have crossover in the eye area. Which energy field range takes precedence indicates whether a person is perception lead or discernment lead. Okay, so perception range, it's going to be located mainly in the eyes, and it relates to the perception power hierarchy by the depth level of the perception power in the eye. So the momentum perception is going to be kind of over and obscuring the modulation perception, and the modulation perception will sort of peek through during active usage. The discernment range is basically located over the expanse of the face, and it relates to kind of what we were just discussing, well, a few weeks ago, where basically it's how readily the emotive expression goes up the face or is cessated according to lip line, midline, brim, brow line thing. So the momentum one will be the one that's just where it goes readily and easily with the cessating or emoting, and the modulation discernment will be either flaring up or curtaining down during the active usage. So the perception discernment ranges relate to one another because they're going to overlap in the eye area, because the discernment range goes over the entire face, and that's already where the perception range is. And so just the one that takes precedence over the eye area is going to indicate whether the person is in question is a discernment lead or perception lead.
Got it. Nice. That catches you fully up. So we're all set. Do you have any questions or anything at all before we?
It's not.
All right, great. Excellente. Nice. You're fully caught up. So we'll see you on Sunday, and then we'll pick back on Tuesday.
Well, great.
Cool. Have a wonderful evening.